In this session, we'll cover off a high-level overview of the Servicely ITSM suite of applications that are available out the box as part of the Servicely platform. Servicely is a native SaaS-based application with AI at the core of the system to assist you in being more productive and delivering a better customer service experience. If we have a look at the self-service portal, an example we've set up is I have a user who has a password related issue. The user is able to come to the self-service portal. I can't log in, and what we see is our intelligent virtual agent using natural language is able to understand what the issue is and prompts the user based on the applications that the particular user has access to, which application is it that they're having an issue with. Now, the virtual agent is able to understand if more information was given. So if the user came in and said, I can't log into Outlook, what we see is the virtual agent is able to understand that it's related to Outlook. The virtual agent is also able to connect to external systems to go and validate things like what is the current account status, etc. It's done that in real time, and it's come back and it's telling us that the account looks fine. Would you like to reset your password? Sounds like a plausible action to take, and we now see that the virtual agent does the security challenge questions. So for us, my first car was BMW. What was your pet's name? We just had called him Dog. And we see again the system is able to in real time connect to external systems, unlock the account, and inform the user that the account has now been unlocked, asking the user to confirm if it works or not. We always provide a warm handoff, so if the user is still unable to connect to Outlook, what we're able to do is hand that off to a service agent and provide all the information of what's happened with this interaction to this point. In this instance, we'll simply say, yes, it works. Great, glad I could help, and the user goes back on about their business. Now, the virtual agent's not limited to IT-related requests. Essentially, any kind of request, we're able to train the system to understand those requests. So somebody may be coming into the portal and asking, how much leave do I have? And what we see is the system seeks to confirm, I understand you're inquiring about a leave balance. Yes, I can help you with leave balance inquiries. What type of leave balance are you inquiring about? Is it annual leave? Is it long service, or is it sick leave? In this instance, I'd like to know how much annual leave I have available. Again, what we see is the system in real time was able to connect to an external system. In this instance, it's Workday, but could be any HR system, and brought back the results for me saying your annual leave balance is 13 days. Anything else I can help you with? In this instance, we'll say no. So very flexible on how you can use the virtual agent, not only to provide information, but also take actions externally on systems. Another example which may be useful is if we were to, I need guest Wi-Fi, I have a contractor coming in and starting tomorrow, and I need to get a Wi-Fi access token for them. So we can see that's a common request, but let's try using that as a user would describe it to the system. Have a contractor starting tomorrow and require guest Wi-Fi access. So we see the system's understood from that. I understand you'd like guest Wi-Fi for the network. Is that correct? Yes. Great. Let me ask you a few questions so I can provision it for you. We're able to provide a link to our guest Wi-Fi policy to ensure that we have compliance. Please provide their full name. So the contractor's name is John Wayne. When would I need the access? Well, it'll be in tomorrow, so I'd like to have it ready, and I'll be on site for 1 week. And what we see is the system now comes back and says, right, I'm just confirming that you need to set up an account for John Wayne from this date to this date. Is this correct? Yes. And what we will see is the system now integrates with our Wi-Fi provisioning system to go off and actually provision that with the appropriate passcode, and it has sent me an email with those details. So really driving efficiency from both the end user perspective in getting access to what they need, but also offloading the workload on the service desk through automation and integration into these back-end systems. Included in the in the self-service portal, full service catalog capability. So we can see over here as we can set up multiple catalog categories within the self-service portal. We might want to go and order an iPhone. I'd like a white one and I'd like the 128 gigabyte. I can submit. That'll go and create my request, which will have the appropriate workflow, including approvals, etc., attached to that. So very flexible on how I set that. I can have the most commonly requested catalog items surfaced to the front page, and I can also make available to the users my incidents or my group's incidents if I'm a manager, etc. So a lot of flexibility around how you configure the self-service portal. This is all drag and drop. So if we were to just have a look over here, you can see over here, these are all components. I can simply go and drag various widgets. You can create your own widgets and add them to the portal. So with that, let's have a look at the back end where we see more our service agents and second and third level support working. So as the administrator, I have access to that. We see out the box we provide all the process requirements that you need as far as knowledge, ITSM, incident problem release, etc. All of that is available. The ability to integrate into event management systems to track things like outages, which obviously then have an impact around SLA monitoring, etc. So all of that is provided within the Servicely platform. If we were to go and have a look at creating a new incident, somebody calls in, I'm having an issue, I create a new incident as a service desk agent. Who is the person that's calling in? So in this instance, Dion's called in and he says that SAP session is locked. What we see again is the AI engine understanding what the issue is, and through that it's been able to understand that it's the SAP service that's been affected. It's understood the classification for this particular call, and it's also understood the support group that this needs to be assigned to. And what we can see over here is it's automatically set these fields for us. So it's set the classification, assignment group, etc. has automatically been done, and we can see it's taken it a step further. If we look at the activity log over here, is we will see that the system has in machine time anticipated with an 81% confidence that the next most probable action is going to be to go and check the SAP session in the SAP management console. So we've integrated into that platform, and we see in real time the system has gone, checked it, and it's come back, and it's telling the service agent that the SAP session is actually locked. And we see that over here by the intelligent actions that have been executed. We take that a step further, and based on observing how previous agents have solved similar types of issues in the past, the system is suggesting to us with a fairly high level of confidence that the next most probable action you would want to take is to unlock the SAP session. Sounds like a reasonable action to take. So without having to now swivel chair and go and manage the SAP and unlock the SAP session outside of the service desk, is I'm simply able to go and say, right, execute. We see over here it's been unlocked. That's been put into the journal field. Then I can simply say put that into a resolved state. So really reducing that call handle time significantly, but also augmenting the service agents on recommended actions, who the call should be assigned to ensure it gets resolved as quickly as possible. We also have the system using natural language is surfacing up the most appropriate knowledge for this particular issue based on natural language. That knowledge is not limited to our own internal knowledge base. We can actually integrate into other knowledge bases and break down your knowledge silos. So integrating into Confluence or SharePoint or Google Docs to ingest that knowledge and make that knowledge available based on the particular issue. So really empowering the service desk to be a lot more efficient and reduce the call handle time so that you can essentially do more with less. And we know the quicker we can get the end user back to business, the more productive they can be and the better service experience they have. So we're able to do all the typical service management or ITIL type functionality you'd expect. I'm logged in as administrator, so we'll see a lot more over here. But we can do things like create a change record from this, create a problem record. We've seen organizations as they start to adopt ITIL, we have request and we have incident, and they'd like to, according to the ITIL framework, keep those as separate records. Sometimes things get misclassified. We can facilitate converting it or changing it, if you like, from an incident record to a request, and vice versa, bringing that back. Full workflow within the system. The workflow is a state-based workflow, so it allows us to, as we step through the workflow, we'll see these buttons dynamically, or these action buttons dynamically adjust depending on where I am in the workflow. So I could say, well, I want to continue work on this. I could wait. We'll see over here that the SLA is now running again. If I now hand it back to the client to confirm, is the issue resolved, and I said I'm awaiting client, we'll pause the SLA, and they come back and say it's working. We can say set to resolved. I can either set it to closed, or after a certain number of days that it's configurable, it'll automatically close out that particular call. The forms and the customizability of the system is very easy. It's drag and drop for your forms. We have a number of record fields over here that you can include: impact, urgency, driving priority. We support major incidents out the box, where you can have major incident managers and followers, etc. So very comprehensive out the box service management platform available to start using from a service desk perspective. We have full CMDB support. So as you'd expect, full CMDB across hardware with relationships, etc., able to integrate into many of the discovery tools out there, including Microsoft SCCM, in order to populate the CMDB. So very comprehensive service desk solution. We also provide various reporting capabilities. So we have various dashboards that we may want to look at. This is just an incident management dashboard that we've set up. We can have a look at what's the SLA breaches, the P1 calls. All of these are drill down. So where I have these dashboards that I've set up, I can simply drill down onto any one of these. If I wanted to see this is session locked calls, I could drill down. See over here I've got a backup classification issue. Go down. We can see SLAs being breached within the system. We also provide the access ready to hand, so you don't have to go and hunt around related information. And what we mean by that is, if I'd like to know who is Ben's manager or what his contact number is, etc., I can simply click on here, and what that'll do is it'll bring up all his information. Again, these forms are all very configurable through drag and drop. As administrator, I can simply click on the spanner over there, or the wrench, and I can go and configure that to suit my particular requirements that I have as far as the layout, including creating custom fields, etc. So very comprehensive service management capability delivered out the box, and in other sessions we will cover the other available modules that are available on the platform, all running as a single system of record, which means it gives you a lot of flexibility to consolidate various applications onto a single platform and manage that across various teams. Worth noting, we do provide, as part of the ITSM suite, full contract management, which includes warranties, etc. So various contracts where we can look at a particular contract. We can look at which are the assets that are associated to those contracts, expiry dates, etc., as well as asset management. So we have both hardware, software, stock rooms, etc. We'll cover off HR in a separate session, but a lot of flexibility as to how you can leverage the system both in IT as well as outside of IT.